one. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Good time for some gratitude. So today's theme, inspired by one of my favorite teachers, Pema Chodron, have a sense of gratitude for everything, especially difficult sensations and emotions, because of their potential to wake you up. This is sort of superhero stuff. I know there have been and continue to be plenty of situations that I run into where I think, I don't want to be feeling this. I don't want to be experiencing this. This sucks. And it takes a pretty big sense of self to be able to shift into this place where you say, okay, well, wait a second. There's something important for you to learn. Like most recently, this past winter I went skiing once and I messed up my back. The honest answer, for why that happened is I went into ski season just not prepared physically. Like I usually train, I'm almost 56 years old. I realized I can't just jump in there and get after it and expect to come out the other end in one piece. And I ignored that and I paid for it and it sucked and I was in a lot of pain. And there's plenty of sort of negative self-talk, like, how could you? How stupid, you knew better than this. And then once I was able to shift into the zone of like, well, the lesson here, don't do this stuff. Like, don't go in unprepared and think that just because your mind feels like you're 27 and you can ski the way that you used to, that you can still do that at 56 and not need to prepare for it, So anyway, that's one example. And I'm sure you guys have a million different examples of situations in which the sensory and emotional input that came back from a decision that you made was rough. And my goal today is to see if we can find the part of us that can actually appreciate it and feel grateful for it. So quick definition of gratitude. It's an embodied experience that accompanies the awareness that we've benefited from something or someone, some experience. And it's a gift. The irony here is through no doing of our own. Oftentimes when we, hit our thumb with the hammer because we're not paying attention or, something along those lines, it is kind of we're doing it to ourselves. But I mean, sort of it's unintentional, right? There's nothing, we're not intentionally going in to harm ourselves. And yet we still have a lesson to learn. So anyway, let's try it out. I'll see if I can guide us through sort of a layered process to get there. So go ahead and close your eyes. Just take a couple minutes to land on this hot day. Feels almost like the first real day of summer in the Bay Area. Just noticing how the body feels. I feel a bit hot, sweaty. And so just noticing. Also appreciating how the mind is experiencing this moment. Just noticing thoughts, memories, ideas. No need to do anything about them. Just notice them. Oh yeah, there's my to-do list. There's that thing I've been stewing on for the morning. Just let them be. Let them have their own life. So today's theme for gratitude is seeing if we can experience gratitude through a kind of reframe. So the first example to see if you can conjure up in your memory is a time where you sort of physically injured yourself. So something that you did, maybe you lifted the mattress wrong and threw out your back, or you weren't paying attention and that Phillips screwdriver sort of jammed into your hand. Something along those lines. Walking, talking, being upset, and then tripping over the step, that kind of thing. And drop back into that memory and just watch yourself going through that process. Feeling the pain of the injury, feeling the pain of the mental chatter that came after. There's probably a combination of blame and also a sense of victimhood. Can't believe they made me do that. And poor me, here I am again, having done this thing because of fill in the blank. It's making space for all of it. And imagine yourself watching this version of you go through these gyrations, noticing the sensory discomfort, the emotional discomfort, mental discomfort. It's making space for it. And now comes the question, which is, so what was that all about? If you could reframe it, look at it through a different lens and say, oh, here's what I needed to learn from that. Maybe I need to be more present, paying more attention. Maybe it involved being more careful, more judicious about how you were using your body or engaging in whatever task. And then the Olympic level move here is to see if you can find some sense of gratitude for that pain, that discomfort, because of the lesson, the reminder that it was teaching you. I knew deep down that I wasn't really ready for ski season and I ignored it. And it took me a while to appreciate what the lesson I was to learn again. It's like, take care of yourself. Don't do that. Take care of your body. Don't hurt yourself. Care. Be patient. Be disciplined. So can you find gratitude and appreciation for the lesson that physical discomfort was teaching you? And then moving on to another experience in your memory. This time focusing on a situation that has less to do with physical discomfort, like hitting your thumb with a hammer, and more about some kind of emotional or psychological distress. Maybe you re-engaged in an old argument with someone that you knew just wasn't really gonna go anywhere. Or you avoided paying that bill that you knew wasn't gonna go away, and yet you just chose to procrastinate or not deal with it. Again, just making space for the discomfort, the pain, the frustration. And then see if you can shift into a place of gratitude for the fact that you got to learn this lesson. You got to see things more clearly. As Pema Chodron says, you got to wake up to this reality. So what's the takeaway? Let's see if you can find appreciation for, all right, there it is. That's the thing I needed to learn. And that's why this experience happened, just so I could remind myself of the importance of that. Think of this as kind of like a bold or courageous form of gratitude, because it takes effort and it takes courage to be willing to drop into these situations and find the appreciation or the gratitude for, basically, for the pain. Sort of reframe the pain as something helpful and useful. Take a deep breath in. Slow out breath through the mouth. Relax in the chest, the belly. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in. Out. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Come on back. Yeah, I think this is a tricky one, and I know in my experience, it usually, there's certain areas in my life where it takes me a while to get to this place that I was trying to get us to today, where I can look at it and say, okay, right on. Thank you for teaching me that lesson. And unfortunately, usually, it involves some degree of physical or sensory or even emotional pain, but that's what gets our attention. So that's the gratitude for our ability to actually feel that or experience it. So I hope that made sense, and hope to see you tomorrow, everyone. Be well, stay cool.